Hello friends, I am Shushant Raghavan. Welcome to Technical and Quality Session. For understanding the technical requirements and quality standards in clothing industry, making a sustainable garment, I have good practical experience in the apparel manufacturing sector. My skills are CAD pattern making, sample development, technical requirements, and measuring quality performance. Today's session is about textile product liability in the apparel industry. For more sessions like this, do like and subscribe to my channel. Now let's begin the presentation. Textile product liability. Safety regulation. Textile product liability. In most developed countries, the government enforces very strict regulations about the safety standards on consumer products in order to ensure the well-being of its people. These regulations are particularly strong on goods intended for children, such as toys and children's wear. These children's robes fail to meet the federal flammability standards for children's sleepwear, posing a risk of burn injuries to children. If we inadvertently make goods with some potential, we may get ourselves in very serious situations. When a consumer is hurt or killed due to the fault of the product or malfunction of the product, the consumer or his relative may sue the retailer who sold these goods and or the importer who imported these goods and or the manufacturer who made these goods for a very large amount of money and stand a good chance to win. The amount payable to the victims is usually so big that it may put a company out of business. There are three parties involved: the retail store, the importer and the manufacturer. It is very difficult to say who should be responsible and to what extent without letting the judge see the contractual details and study the process in which the order was handled. The recalled helmets do not comply with the US CPSC federal safety standard for bicycle helmets, posing a risk of head injury. The handle of the Q's Powell utensil can break off, releasing small parts, posing a choking hazard for young children. If the hazard is discovered when the goods are made or shipped but not paid for by the buyer, he may find a way to cancel the purchase of these goods. If the goods have been received and paid for by the retail store, the store may return these goods to the importer or want the importer to sign an agreement of indemnity and then keep the goods for the importer to take over the entire liability. When the hazard really turns into an accident, the importer will be responsible, but he will do his best to shift the responsibility to the manufacturer. Common hazards and its remedies. In order to avoid the risk as a merchandiser or a manufacturer, you should be aware of the potential hazards and for everything possible to avoid them. If we suspect a hazard in the product to be made, we should bring it to the attention of the buyer for a discussion. Following are some common hazards. The recalled children's sleepwear garments fail to meet the United States flammability standards for children's sleepwear, posing a risk of burn injuries to children. Flammability. On children's wear, the fabric should not catch fire easily. In other words, the fabric used in garments should be fire retardant. It simply means that it should not get ignited or catches fire and continues to burn into flames. To ensure the fabric is acceptable, you have to send a sample to the laboratory for testing, but you may also do a simple test yourself in the following manner to get the answer quickly. Hold the fabric perpendicularly and hold a lighter halfway down to the fabric to give fire to the surface of the fabric for 4 seconds and then move the lighter away. If the fabric does not catch fire and does not continue to burn when the lighter is moved away, chances are the fabric is okay. However, if the fabric catches fire and continues to burn into flames, the fabric has a strong potential problem. It stands a good chance of failing the test. The recalled ropes fail to meet flammability standards for children's sleepwear, posing a risk of burn injuries to children. If you still want to use it on children's wear, you must send it to a laboratory for flammability test. Please note the Flammability Act in the US is especially strict on children's sleepwear. If you have any doubt, then discuss the issue with your buyer and send a cutting of the fabric to a laboratory for testing. Common hazards and its remedies. Drawstring on children's wear. On children's wear, you cannot use drawstring on the neck and the hood in fear of the danger of an accident. If you are given an order to make a garment with a drawstring on the neck or on the hood, you should double check with the buyer and make him aware of the safety guidelines. However, drawstring non-functional on the waist or any part of the garment below the waist less than 3 inch is acceptable. Lead content in the paint on garment accessories. Lead is a cumulative toxic heavy metal and is poisonous if ingested. It can cause a wide range of health problems including hyperactivity, learning disorders, withdrawal blindness, seizures, brain damage and even death. Once lead is ingested, it will stay in the person's body for the remainder of his or her lifetime to cause health problems. In view of the above reason, US government has banned the use of lead containing paint on certain products, particularly toys. In the garment industry, the most common garment accessories used on children's wear are printed metal snap or buttons, printed metal zipper sliders. If you are required to use the above accessories, you must strongly advise the supplier to use paint without lead content, commonly called toy paint, or with such low lead content that a test should be performed on the snap or zipper sliders before you should put them on the garments. Restricted azoamides for dyeing of textiles. Azo dyestuff may cause danger. It is believed that the azo dyes which may contain the following 20 amines may cause cancer: aminobiphenyl, benzidine, chlorotoluidine, naphthalamine, aminoazotolin, amino-4-nitrotoluene, p-chloranilene, diaminodiphenylmethane, dichlorobenzidine, dimethoxybenzidine, dimethylbenzidine, dimethyl-4, diaminoanisole, p-cressidine, methylene by 2 chloranilene, oxydianiline, thiodianiline, toluidine, toluendiamine, trimethylamine. Common hazards and its remedies. The garment industry has decided to ban the sales of garments made of fabrics treated with azo dyes which contains the above amines. This regulation has been enforced in Germany since April 1, 1996. Other countries in Europe, USA and Canada are likely to follow. Azo dyes are most recently found in the following dyeing methods: direct dyes, acid dyes for wool, nylon and silk, dispersed dyes for polyester. They are less found in the following: indigo dye, vat dye, sulfur dye and pigment dye. In other words, when we buy fabrics of direct dye, acid dyes and dispersed dyes, we should make it clear to the supplier that your goods are for shipment to Germany and that you do not want the dye to contain any of these 20 amines named above. The dyeing mill should be able to choose dye stuff without the 20 amines to use to avoid the hazard. Garment merchandisers should watch the development of this azo dye situation. If one is not able to update or is in doubt, it is not a bad idea to consult some of the reputable testing laboratories engaged in garment tests, who should be well informed of the regulations of the various garment importing countries. One must observe the regulations to avoid the potential problem. Always be aware of new regulations into effect on certain dyes of certain chemicals used in the wash of garments. Your ignorance of the regulations may not keep you clear of the problems, although the buyer should be more aware of them and forewarn you in the process of placing the order with you. Thank you for watching. For more sessions like this, do like and subscribe to my channel. Please comment your valuable thoughts and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified when I post a new presentation. Bye, have a good day.